Now, one of the things that you have an advantage with, Kathleen, is you can use that walking foot. And I put that on there. I was showing the customer how to do that.
To do the stitches?
Mm-hmm. And it will help you sew better. Now with these walking feet, you've got two of them. And you've got two different things that you need to understand. And one of them, I had noticed that you had left out one part. Or I hadn't dug deep enough is what it was. Instead of left out. This is just kind of doing the side track here for a second. This is one of the new exclusives with the Member Craft 12,000. And one of the neat things about this is you have actually two different things, Kathleen. You've got a walking foot and you have an even feed foot. And those are two distinct things.
Now which one's the is that the walking foot you had on there?
That's the walking foot.
What walking foot was?
And with this machine they have two purposes. This is your walking foot, right here. And what a walking foot does is it helps the machine keep fabrics in alignment. Now, most people don't understand this, the way that a feed system works. When you know that you put your foot on and drop your foot down and you put the fabric up there, and these little things right here go up and pull the fabric through with pressure against the foot. But of the feed dogs, both machines have what's called 7-piece feed dogs. That means there's 7 parts to the feed dog. There's 2 on the outside, which are long, and then 5 in the middle. The 2 outside ones are what actually the part of the feed system that actually pulls the fabric through the machine. The inner part, these 5 pieces that's on the inside, actually just kind of help stabilize the fabric to keep it from running and crawling with you everywhere. That's why the Janome box feed system, where you have constant pressure through the sewing cycle, sews your fabric straight. It's not an elliptical system where the outer 2 feed dogs are not in full contact with the fabric except in full up needle position. With the Janome box feed system, the feed dogs are in contact with the fabric at the beginning of the sewing cycle and constantly maintain contact with it throughout the stitch cycle, then repeats itself in a square. All other sewing machines feed in an elliptical system, and that means that the feed dogs gradually come up and gradually go down. And that's why you were taught to put your fabric right here to hold it, and you kind of to guide your fabric through the machine. And as you've noticed, if you've ever sewn with the Janome machines, they sew perfectly straight for you. Now what these things do is they enhance the dual feed for multiple layers. Whenever you get into multiple layers, you'll get into issues depending on the fabric types that they'll want to crawl with you one layer, because one layer is pressing against the foot, the other is pressing against the feed dogs, and you can get it crawling. So if I'm going to be sewing fabric straight, And especially like if I'm batting fabric like quilts, where you got a batting in between and a top and a bottom layer, a dual feed system is a far superior feeding system to help prevent fabric from crawling than what is known as a traditional walking foot. See, the walking foot helps stabilize the fabric on the inside, and this is better than, because it's helping feed it through from the top. It's better than not having anything, but on other brands of machines, or one other brand machine which has the walking foot system built into it, fabrics will still glide with it. And you still have to kind of guide it. But Jannomi's dual feed system allows you to equally feed through the sewing cycle. One of the other reasons that we get into issues is when you're piecing fabric. And Kathleen, you've discovered this with your 7700. When you're piecing, if you use the dual feed system with your piecing, it sews straighter. It keeps more perfect 1/4 inch seams because it's feeding equally on the outside layers.
That makes sense.
Now with this, the 12,000 affords you 4 different setups. One, and you can use this. This is your dual feed system right here. It simply goes in, the feed goes right there, and then it snaps in. And now you'll have a full walking feeding system that works equally with the top feed system, the bottom. Now you can adjust the top feed system too, and that's what the dial is on the side.
Push it down there for it.
You just have a control knob right here on the side, and what that does is that will increase the upper feed dogs to either feed more when you go to the plus side, or minus when the bottom side's wanting to crawl. When the top side's wanting to crawl with you, you go towards the minus side. When the bottom side is wanting to crawl with you, you go to the plus side. What that does is that makes the feed dogs, it's the stitch length for the upper walking system.
Now you don't drop your feed dogs when you do this.
No. But you can drop your feed dogs and sew with the top feed system, because it is a true feed system.
If you're using that.
If you're using this. Now, where a walking foot really comes into play is more in garment construction. But you have a narrow walking foot system when you're doing decorative work that I like to use, because yeah, you're using batting, but batting is different than most of the fabric you're sewing on, and it can crawl with you, so this will help stabilize the fabric.
You don't drop your feed dogs there either.
No. But there's another thing that they have with this that a walking foot's wonderful for, and that's for putting in zippers. You have a zipper foot that works with the walking foot. And people are always wanting you to do, and just to name a brand name, Carhartt, these jackets with them big zippers. I don't know if you've ever tried to do that with a household sewing machine, but you'll struggle with it. The thickness and the crawl.
I told myself I wouldn't put the machine through that far.
But with a denim needle and this feed system, you'll have no problems putting zippers in. That's what this is designed for. And see, it'll actually even do invisible zippers, because that's what the center hole's for. Now, that's with your walking foot. Also, on your machine, you'll get in and you'll see that there's sections for the VD, and that's what this foot is called, VD foot. This is the ED. Now with your dual feed foot, This is for dual feed. But there's one more purpose that they use the dual feed foot for, and that's for 1/4-inch seams. This is the 1/4-inch seam foot with the dual feed. So it will perfectly keep patterns level. So you can do a perfect 1/4-inch seam.
It's a big deal for us. I have trouble with them 1/4-inch seams.
And in your quilting mode, you'll notice that you'll see the piecing. That's what these are for. That's to be used with this dual feed. Also on your screen, you'll see DFS in this light pink color on your machine. These stitches that are highlighted in pink are the ones that Janome recommends that you use the dual feed with to get, and you'll see the feather stitch for your piecing, to use the dual feed system with to make the fabric so better. Myself, I say use it on any of them. It won't hurt a thing. But if you will use this dual feed system, if these particular stitches are highlighted in pink, it will make them so better.